I used to think that being present just meant being there. In the same room, attending the same events, just physically being there. But sometimes I was there, yet I was somewhere else entirely. My sons were watching a father who knew how to show up, but not necessarily how to open up. In other words, I knew how to be seen, but I didn't really know how to be known. And there really is a big difference there. Being seen is about doing the right things, being reliable, responsible, visible. Being known is about letting someone close enough to see the real you, including those parts that you'd rather keep hidden. I had the first one down pat, but I really struggled with the second one. There's this story, the Prodigal Son, and the part that got me wasn't the son coming home. You see, I was 38 years old, I felt like I'd lost everything, and I returned home to my childhood bedroom, so I get it. But the father sees his son coming from afar, and he runs towards him. And back then, it was improper for a respectable man to run, period, let alone to a son who abandoned his family and lost his inheritance. But the father doesn't wait. He doesn't stand at the door with his arms crossed. He's not waiting there to tell him, "I told you so." He runs to close the distance. I wasn't running towards my kids. I was waiting at a distance on purpose because it made me feel safe. I've always been taught that if you don't let people close enough to you, they're not going to be able to hurt you. But that mindset doesn't survive marriage. It doesn't survive fatherhood. Because when you keep your walls up, your kids don't just lose the ability to hurt you, they lose the ability to reach you. And what I've come to understand is the absence of vulnerability doesn't protect love, it actually starves it. So if you're unwilling to be open, to be known, to risk being hurt, you're not going to avoid pain. You're just pretty much guaranteeing a deeper kind of hurt. The kind that shows up years later in the form of distance, disconnection, and relationships that never quite feel whole. That image of the father running, it broke something open in me that needed to be broken. I wish I would have known this 10, 15, 18 years earlier. God used that story to show me the gap between the father I was and the father I was becoming. And that's the beginning of grace taking root. Because every setback's a setup. God doesn't waste the hard seasons.